The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
WCIparts.com Truck Series. Again, that outside line inches ahead down into turn number 1, but can't or either won't clear the 16. I think Ryan likes it up on the outside line. That's where he's continuing to run, and he's got some good help with Randy Yoakum and EJ O'Rourke right behind him. Mike Montesi now up there as well as Jason Jacoby in the mix. A little bit further back there, he's 5th in line on that outside line, just inside the top 10 there. Ryan again working that outside line. Really doing the great job up there on the outside as everybody in that top groove. for the time being. 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 for the first 4, 5, 6 rows here at Daytona. A couple of trucks sort of drifting back in single file formation. A couple of truck links behind this lead pack. They might be back there just waiting things out. You know, we still have a couple more pit stops coming up here at Daytona. And you never know when the big one's going to happen, or where, for that matter, as they continue to race around the high banks here at Daytona International Speedway. And again, we want to apologize for any technical issues that we are having, doing the best we can to get everything sorted out. As Tommy Ryan, big push from Randy Yoakum down the front straightaway, the biggest lead he's had all night. Inside line is dropping back big time, and Ryan, does he leave Yoakum? No, he stays loyal to that outside line, and I don't know if I agree with him there, but the move has already been made. Can't change it now. Ritter right back out in front of the field with help from Ryan Howard, but here comes that outside line back again. 2 by 2 by 2 for the front of the field, and they are getting dicey. Look at Keaton push up off the bottom there, almost made contact with the outside lane. Great racing here at the front of the field as Tommy Ryan leads another lap from that outside line. 35 1/1000ths of a second. Give it to him there at the line, and this time he drops down to the bottom. Not gonna stutter there is the 99. He drops to the bottom, and now Randy Yoakum out on that outside line to fend for himself with E.J. O'Rourke, Montesi, Jacoby. Here comes Jacoby. He saw an opening in the middle and says, excuse me, pardon me, coming through. Randy Yoakum drops to the bottom side of the racetrack, and Jacoby goes head on into the wall. Caution's going to fly, and it's the big one here at Daytona. The huge one here at Daytona. All happened when Montesi, we've seen this a lot tonight. Montesi just went down into turn number 3, and the truck just went away from it. Just got loose down into Jacoby, and it was on from there. Kevin Brown in it. Ryan Howard gets a piece of it. Michael Keaton. The 81 machine. Josh Zintek in it. Chad Cole got a big piece of it. I mean, big time heavy hitters taken out early in this one, and all those drivers that was sort of single file way back in the pack there, well, that is the exact reason they were doing that, to avoid something like this if it happened at the front of the field. And my, oh my. The big one happening on lap 16 here at Daytona, putting us under caution for the second time, and Randy Yoakum inherits the lead and heads down the pit road. He'll be followed by E.J. O'Rourke and Tommy Ryan. And while they head to the service of their crews, we're going to keep on trucking, but we'll do so under a quick commercial break. We'll be back right here on the Sim Racing Network. Don't go anywhere. The restart coming up next.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
He'll inherit the lead, most likely. We'll keep an eye on that, though, for sure. E.J. O'Rourke sits third as they run right now. Fourth is Tommy Ryan. Randy Yoakum would round out the top 5. And if you're just joining us, Jason Jacoby, Mike Montesi get together over in turn number 3 in the middle of the pack. And sparked the big one. Took out a good number of cars. Let's see, Montesi was in it, Jeff Ryan, Michael Keaton, Josh Zintek, Ryan Howard got a piece of it, Kevin Brown, Chad Cole, and a handful of others also involved in that. Earlier in the race, Mark Creighton, sort of the same incident. Truck just got loose on him and spun up the track and collected Don Runkle and Doug Sigmund. That was our first caution. We're serving our second caution right now here at the World Center of Racing. So nonetheless, though, looking to possibly turn the lights off this time by. Jason Chambliss dipped down on the pit road. Nick Timms is the first truck behind the pace car. He'll get back onto the lead lap as we turn the lights off there. Steve Ritter gonna regain the lead that he once had out in front of this field. So it's gonna be Ritter, O'Rourke, Ryan, Yoakum, Gottschalk, Jetina, Silver, Fuller, and Barham, I do believe, will be the top 10 as we get set to restart here on lap 20, and it'll be the 1/3 mark of this race. And boy, things have already gotten wild here at Daytona. Mark Creighton, Don Runkle, Jason Jacoby, Mike Montesi, Doug Sigmund, Michael Keaton, Josh Zintek, and Ryan Howard have all pulled it behind the wall. Howard has not pulled it completely behind the wall yet, but his truck pretty severely damaged. 26 trucks still on the lead lap here at Daytona, and set to go back racing here in about a half a lap as the field works their way down the back straightaway. Long back straightaway, one of the longest in NASCAR. Steve Ritter, an interesting pick here. He'll choose the outside for this restart in at number 16. So that'll be the first time tonight that we've seen the leader choose the outside line, but nonetheless, I think it's a good move if he can get up through the gears quick. But he's got a hard charging competitor there on the inside. Great at super speedways. That's 41 of E.J. O'Rourke starting just to his left. So we'll see what happens here on this restart. Is the outside line the way to go, or does he make a mistake and green in this race? Green flag back in the air. We're back underway at Daytona. Good restart for Ritter, but O'Rourke's going to beat him to the line to lead that lap. We'll see what the officials say about that one. Nonetheless, though, I think Ritter made a mistake there as he is getting freight trained by the bottom side. Here comes O'Rourke. There goes Ryan. Now Yoakum to the inside of the 16. Steve Gottschalk is in the top 5 and looking to be in the mix here as well. A lot of these names we haven't talked about yet tonight because they've been at the back of the field and kind of avoiding the lead pack, but now the majority of the lead pack that was out front all in the garage now. So all these drivers really have no choice but to be a part of the action at the front of the field, but for the most part they stay single file, and it looks like it's going to be E.J. O'Rourke out front here for at least a couple laps until we can get maybe an outside line formed up. Looks like Ritter's still up there trying to get some momentum going, but he's just he is a lone man out there on the outside. Ritter falling back as Jatina flies by. Now Fuller in the 51 will fly by. Jabu getting set to fly by there in the 5 as well. Ritter holding his own, at least for now. He's got a spot in line, but chooses to stay to the outside. Now Jatina jumps up to the outside with Ritter. That's an interesting choice there. We'll see if anybody else tries to join that duo up on the top side of the racetrack. Jatina leading the 16 of Ritter. On the outside, O'Rourke leading pretty much the rest of the field down on the bottom side of the racetrack, and even then, inside line, the whole field really getting quite a bit of distance in between them. They're not really sucked up and tight like we saw in the lead pack just a couple laps ago. Working lap 23 of 60 down the back straightaway. Here comes the suck up effect that we like to talk about, where everybody gets right back on each other's bumper. It's starting to occur right now as they down in 3 and 4. Look at Tommy Ryan there in second, all sorts of out of shape there in the middle of 3 and 4. I think this truck is a very ill handling machine here tonight, and we're seeing that. But look out front, Joey Jatina gonna take the lead here at Daytona. Didn't lead that lap, but now he battles side by side with E.J. O'Rourke. It's a 2-truck lane up top, 3 trucks on the bottom, and really from there on back, everybody trying to draft back up to these leaders. Top 5 is pulling away from the rest of the field. One notable as the battle for the lead goes on, Kevin Brown has also pulled it behind the wall. That puts us 22 trucks on the lead lap as that outside line sort of fizzles out there at the front of the field. Ritter drops down to the inside. Now Jatina going to do the same right in front of Steve Gottschalk as everybody now bumper to bumper racing down into turn number 1. It's Trey Edson in that number 40 machine leading the outside lane to the back straightaway now as Edson to the outside of Gottschalk there, trying to get some momentum going. He'll have a little bit of help from Brian Macklin in the 30 machine as they try and get some momentum moving here at Daytona as we ease up on the halfway point. Edson trying to work his way to the front and trying to pick up that 3rd victory of the season here in the WCIparts.com Truck Series. Oh, that's going to get tight as Ritter and Jatina decide to pull up to the outside line at the last moment there. Almost a collision. Close call indeed. Man, oh man, they had to put the binders on, did Macklin and Edson, and it really jumbles up the field behind them. Even Jatina loses a lot of momentum and falls back in that number 14. Wow. Up front, though, it's still E.J. O'Rourke leading Tommy Ryan, Randy Yoakum, and Steve Ritter. Can't really decide whether he wants to go to the inside or the outside. He's making it interesting for us in the top 5. He's really the only one up here trying to jump lanes, as they call it, here in drafting at Daytona. Working lap number 27 now as we cross the stripe. 3 to go to the halfway point here in the WCIparts.com Truck Series. It's race number 13 here at Daytona, just 5 away from the playoffs, or the chase rather, starting. So including tonight, we're 6 away. So 5 after tonight, 6 including tonight. What a great race though these guys are putting on for us. We had the big one just a couple laps ago. Look at Brian Macklin there in that 30 just up and draft around 2 drivers in front of him by himself pretty much, and he has got a head full of steam. Ritter go to the outside with him, but Macklin says, no, I'll stick to the bottom and I'll pick up Randy Yoakum. So that's going to put Ritter to the outside line again and falling back in a hurry, and he'll have a small gap in front of Gottschalk if he wants to fall down into it, and he'll do just that. Boy, look at Macklin sideways off turn 2. He has to get out of the throw. Great save by Macklin, but a close call there again, as this ill-handling truck is really making it tough for these guys to get up and on the wheel. Work for the 16, and O'Rourke and Ryan was able to drive by pretty much with ease on the inside, was able to take the lead. Watching E.J. O'Rourke and Tommy Ryan in that in the lead, the runner-up spot. These guys also starting to fight some ill-handling trucks. They've bobbled a couple of times over the past handful of laps. It's a very weird scenario. You almost don't know when it's going to happen, and we've seen it now a handful of times, and twice it's caused a crash. .06 of Doug Sigmund back in the line as the 40. He sits 6th right now, as boy, Randy Yoakum had a moment there in 3rd, washed up the racetrack, had to gather it up. Tell you what, it's making for some sketchy racing, but it's also making for some fun racing here at Daytona. You never know when the next big slide's going to come, as E.J. O'Rourke continues to lead out in front of this field. 2 more trucks have pulled it behind the wall. John Mustin and Nick Timms have retired. So again, want to apologize for the technical difficulties tonight. It is a full moon night at Daytona, to say the very least. As boy, the racing has been wild. We've had our own share of problems, and the drivers on track have a handful as well, with the very twitchy setup, we'll call it. And you know, I haven't driven a lap in this truck with this setup, but just visually from what I can see, I mean, these guys have their hands full tonight, and it's really providing an interesting show for us here at Daytona. Not a lot happening here in the field. The biggest sort of action on the track comes from the J.D. Laird machine back there to number 46. Here comes Edson up the block real quick, back down to the bottom. It's Laird and Cole trying to make the outside line get a little bit of movement here. Edson going to peek back up, drop back down. A little bit of peekaboo there for the number 40 machine. Some interesting strategies here at Daytona. Just don't think the Laird and Coleman duo are going to be able to work their way to the front without any sort of help, especially this late in the run with the kind of setup we're dealing with. So we'll see. You know, anything's possible. If we have another stack up there on the bottom side, they'll be able to work their way forward. On board with the 46 as they race through corners number 3 and 4 and on to the main chute here at Daytona. Laird doing his best to work his way into the top 5. He's side by side now with Gottschalk. They may have a little boost of momentum going for him as they race down into turn number 1, trying to work their way, inch their way closer and closer to the front. Now they've caught the top 4. Won't be long before they're up into the podium. And do we see any more drivers join them? Could this be that moment of the race where now they're starting to get comfortable with the trucks and maybe start to work their way back around to the outside? Maybe get 2 lanes of racing back going again here at Daytona. Look at E.J. O'Rourke. A very interesting line there in 3 and 4. I don't know if he just pushed up or if that's the line he took, but he was right in the middle of the racetrack. Tommy Ryan easily could have stuck a nose underneath him, but did not. Battle for third. Here comes Laird to the outside of Yoakum. And now Edson and Macklin have joined the party up top. Now we're back to 2x2 racing here in Daytona Beach, Florida. Ritter. Oh boy, look at that 16. He is itching to get back up to the top. He kind of gave it up earlier in the run, and now look at that. Back to the bottom goes Macklin and Edson, leaving Laird and Coleman kind of to fend for themselves up in that outside lane again. So they kind of just hopscotch to 91 and went right back down to the bottom side of the racetrack, or maybe they're just practicing a little bit for what could come later in the run. Laird, Coleman still up top. Not really pushing a whole lot. They haven't locked bumpers, and I don't know if that's just the way the draft is or if that's all by design, but we really haven't seen a lot of bumper locking tonight here at Daytona, and that's a product of these trucks playing real hard to suck up to one another as Laird gets another run to the back straightaway. Here comes Edson up to help the duo, now make it a trio there as Edson trying to decide which lane he wants to go in. Does Ryan step out on the 41? Here comes that outside line, inching closer and closer to the lead here at Daytona. J.D. Laird looking to lead his first lap of the night. He's up to the second spot, battling for the runner-up spot with the 99 of Tommy Ryan down into turn number 1. 3 trucks versus the rest of the field on the inside line. What a show these guys are putting on. And they've got a little bit of distance between Ryan and Yoakum, so that outside line a little bit more organized than the inside, and it's really showing to the back straightaway. J.D. Laird dead even with E.J. O'Rourke. Now it's a battle for the lead, and now J.D. Laird has the lead down into turn number 3. Does he stay out to the outside line? He does. Didn't quite have enough to clear the 41. But to the front straightaway. Does Coleman push him out ahead? Can he get another boost of momentum? Can J.D. Laird lead this lap at Daytona? No. Give it to 41 of E.J. O'Rourke by 12 1/1000ths of a second. So what was some single file action there for a little bit is now we've turned the wick up. We have turned the excitement level up. We are 2x2 racing, and boy, they're starting to get twitchy. Look at Tommy Ryan out of shape there on the inside line. Big wiggle from the 99, a big wiggle from the 40 there in the center of the turn as well. But all these guys racing side by side and 2x2, that has allowed the rest of the field to sort of close back in slowly but surely. They're starting to get bunched up again. And just like that, a huge drop of momentum for that outside line. They're already back outside the top 5 again almost. Trey Edson pulls back down to the bottom. That doesn't help him out at all. So they go from a hero almost to 0 in a matter of about a lap or so. It's 20 to go this time by, and it's crunch time here at Daytona. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, We'll be right in the thick of things, right in the thick of crunch time when we could have another pit stop on our hands. We're going to keep on trucking from the World Center of Racing. We'll be back right here on the Sim Racing Network.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah. Rat poison.
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Out in front of this field when everything cycles around here in the 91. Great run for Steve Gottschalk as we're in crunch time here. 16 laps to go, and Gottschalk has found himself in prime position to pick up a victory here at Daytona. Gottschalk right there in the thick of things with some other lapped cars. And got to give credit where credit's due. He is not the leader. It's Sean Casto who is the leader. He right there with Nick Silver and Brandon Bowie. Those guys are being caught by this mixture of lead lap cars and lap cars. So it's Casto out in front of the field, led by Nick Silver and Brandon Bowie. Those guys were the last to pit and the first to get back out in front of everybody and up to speed. Richard Swavely there in the 38, Jonathan Lockhart in the 6. Those two trucks are a lap down. They're not really fighting for anything in here except for the lucky dog position. That's the battle for the lucky dog, and right now I'd go to Lockhart if there were a caution. So, to restack everything, it's Casto leading, Silver second, third is Brandon Bowie, and then it's Gottschalk in fourth there. He's the second truck on the outside line. Scratch that, it's now Trey Edson who is fourth, which is the fifth truck in line. It gets a little confusing, but we'll try and sort everything for you as this run goes on. Big pack here at the front of the field, mixed in with some lap machines there right at the front as well. So this is really going to get interesting here. Everybody's good to the end, so we are racing to a checkered flag now here at Daytona. And it seems as though when the trucks get in this big pack and as the run goes on, that's when that looseness, that twitchy loose starts to come back, and it sort of haunts these guys. So we'll keep an eye on that too over the course of this now 14-lap run. Casto leads, but he's got a small challenge from Gottschalk on that outside line. Gottschalk not quite there yet, but he's trying to push Lockhart out in front of that 52. Maybe Lockhart would drop down to the bottom, and then that would allow Gottschalk to sort of race for the win up at the front of this field. This is certainly an interesting pack we've got going here at Daytona in the final laps of this one. 14 to go this time. Sorry, 13 to go this time by for leader Sean Casto, who has played the pit strategy perfectly tonight. If you wait as long as you can, save a lot of fuel, you can come down a little bit later than everybody else. Avoid all the conflict on the getting to pit road part of things. You don't have to put as much fuel in the truck, so your pit stop takes less time. You can get off and get out in front of everybody quicker as well. Richard Swavely going to drop to the back of the pack there in the 38. He says, you guys are battling for the win. I'm going to get out of your way. So now it's only one lap truck in this pack, and that's going to be the 6 of Lockhart. And we'll scratch that, the 22 of Barham, also a lap down. Scratch that. No, Barham's back on the lead lap. So great rebound for Barham after being involved in that first caution. So Barham inside the top 10 there as that outside line losing some momentum. And that is affecting them big time. Bottom line starting to become more dominant again as they race down the back straightaway. 11 laps to go at the line. This time they're 3 wide in the middle of the pack. Steve Gottschalk up against the wall. It's going to get tight there for a moment here at Daytona. Look at Edson leading that outside line. Trying to, whoa, Brandon Bowie in the 1. All sorts of sideways there. That's that looseness we've got to watch out for as this run goes on. Look at Tommy Ryan there in the 99 trying to get to the inside of Lockhart. He does just that. Now they're 3 wide again. They're trying to shuffle Lockhart out of this lead pack so they can sort of race it out amongst themselves, and there's the looseness. Yoakum in the wall. Crash here at Daytona, and we've kept it green. Chad Coleman has turned all the way around, but we are still green here at Daytona. Coleman trying to get it going again. That thing is crab walking. The worst I've ever seen a truck crab walk, and somehow or another we continue to race it out here at Daytona. That one involved Steve Gottschalk as well, kind of put him a little bit further back in the mix. Barham had to check up big time for that one, or he was a piece of it was Barham in that 22, so he's got a little bit more damage now. But up front, here comes Trey Edson looking to take the lead away from Sean Casto. He's got help from Tommy Ryan. Great racing at the front of the field after a wild moment just a couple laps ago down in 1 and 2. A crash with no caution. Who'd have thunk it? It's full moon racing for sure tonight, and they almost come together for the lead down the back straightaway. 9 laps to go this time by at the flag stand. Sean Casto and Trey Edson, they go side by side. Neon yellow truck versus neon yellow numbers for the lead here at Daytona. Edson going to lead that lap by a fender or so with 9 to go here at the World Center of Racing. Oh boy, Casto a little bit shaky down there on the bottom. Justin Fuller in that 51, he's still in the mix. 6 trucks. Throw a blanket over them, all going for the lead here at Daytona. Brandon Bowie is there. Nick Silver in the 15 down there on the inside line. The first 6 trucks you see there, 2x2. Look at Tommy Ryan out of shape again off turn 4. Those 2x2 trucks there, the first 6, the first 3 rows all battling for the win. Jonathan Lockhart is a lap down. He can play devil's advocate to whichever lane he wants to work best. Edson real good in that outside lane, sporting the red, white, and blue kick-ass scheme tonight, and he gets turned sideways in the middle of the back straightaway from Tommy Ryan. There's another incident there, and the caution's going to wave as Tommy Ryan spins in the 99, the 3rd one of the night, and oh my boy, oh boy. Holy cow, do things get interesting now as we get the replay pulled up there. And that is just signature. Bump gone wrong on the backstretch. Ryan just lifts the 40 up, turns him sideways into the wall. Ryan gets a big piece of that. And then Ryan was out of control down the backstretch and got hit by Justin Fuller to turn him completely the rest of the way around and trigger the caution here at Daytona. What a race, and what a dramatic finish this is going to be coming up here at the World Center of Racing. It's going to be Sean Casto leading the field back to the green flag. Does anybody pit for tires, or what's going to happen down there? Not to mention, green-white checkers are now a thing, and that could play into fuel strategy as well. Is everybody ready for a green-white checker, or do they need to come in and top off? All that will be determined here in just a couple laps. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, albeit barring any other cautions, we'll take you all the way to the checkered flag. Looks like everybody's going to stay out, but if anybody does come down, you'll catch it on side-by-side, corner to corner. Everybody does come down. Scratch that. They jinxed us all. So the whole field coming down pit road. One truck staying out. It's Joey Jatina. He'll lead us back to the green flag up next right here on the Sim Racing Network. We'll be back.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
back to Daytona International Speedway. It is Joey Jatina out in front of the field. Chris Caboo will restart second. Matthew Welzenbach will restart third, and that is the top three. Those three trucks did not pit under the most recent caution. Fourth will be Sean Casto. Fifth will be Brandon Bowie. Sixth is Nick Silver. Seventh, Steve Gottschalk. And eighth, Dwayne Vincent. And I'll give you the rest of the top 10, but let's just, a little fun fact here. The top 8, the highest person, the highest starting position inside the top 8 is 14th, and that comes from Joey Jatina up in the lead. If you throw him out of the mix, the highest starting position, 19th. So all these guys inside the top 8 have been on the move tonight here at Daytona. E.J. O'Rourke started 9th, runs 9th right now, and Brian Macklin started 5th and runs 10th. Lockhart, Jonathan Lockhart, just got the lucky dog, and he'll come back around to restart. I do believe he'll restart at the tail, but he scored 11th right now. J.D. Laird has scored 12th, but he is all torn up. 13th is Randy Yoakum in the number 8 machine. A little bit of damage on his truck as well. Tommy Ryan scored 14th, and he was the one that was involved in the most recent yellow. Trey Edson also involved in that. Justin Fuller also involved in that yellow as well. Jason Barham, the final truck on the lead lap, he's got a little bit of damage on his 22 machine as well. So this time by, looking to turn the lights off atop the iRacing.com Ford Mustang pace car, and we do just that. So it'll be a 3-lap shootout here at Daytona. Green, white, checkered rules are as follows. They are enabled here for tonight at Daytona. We get one attempt at the green, white, checkered. If there were a caution in the final stage of this race, the final 3 laps of this race, as long as it comes before the white flag, we'll go caution. We'll pace around, get everything cleaned up, and then we'll have a green, white, checkered. That's a green, white, checkered 2-lap shootout to the finish. However, if the field takes the white flag, the next flag will ultimately end the race, and most times that is just the checkered flag altogether. So here we go. Final, could be the final restart of the night. We'll see what happens here, and if we do get a green, white, checkered, is Jatina, Jabu, Welzenbach, are those guys good on fuel? Everybody else came down behind them. So what's going to happen here on this restart? 3 to go at Daytona. 7.5 miles. It's like a trip to your grocery store and back. But for one of these drivers, it's going to separate them and victory at the World Center of Racing. They'll stack them up 2 by 2 by 2. It has been a wild one. Only 3 cautions this race. We've had a magnitude of incidents, though. It has been a very weird night, to say the least, here at Daytona. Nonetheless, Jatina, Gaboo, Welzenbach, Casto, Bowie. That's the top 5.
Green flag, green flag.
Field 2 by 2. He's in the gas, and we are back underway, racing at Daytona. Jatina got a good restart, pulled out ahead of Bowie and Welzenbach there. Welzenbach didn't get going, and that's going to affect the 14 as they race to the back straightaway. Gaboo with help from Casto. Casto all over the bumper of the 5. He turns him sideways down the backstretch. Now 3 wide for the lead here at Daytona. And down into turn number 3, they'll send it 3 wide with Casto up through the middle. Gaboo, great save off of turn 2, but he is stuck out to dry in that 3rd lane. Side by side they go. Do they make it back around? Real tight in turn 4. Contact as they race to the front straightaway. 2 laps to go at Daytona. Brandon Bowie out in front of the field with 2 to go. He's got help from Nick Silver. They're crashing behind. Big junk behind where you stay green. A lot of trucks are sideways, and now the caution will fly. Caution's out. The race is not over. We'll go to a green, white, checkered scenario. Oh my goodness. Brandon Bowie will lead the field back to the green flag. we get the replay pulled up, and that happened middle of the pack. Not sure which truck. Looked to be, well, it was right with the 5, and O'Rourke got a piece of it as well. Then Swavely, Lockhart, Randy Yoakum got a big piece of it. Tommy Ryan got a piece of Swavely as he came back up the track. Man. Big crash at the back of the field there. Puts us under caution for the 4th time here at Daytona. And most certainly the last time with only one green-white checkered attempt. So, whew, catch your breath because it's bound to get wild again here at Daytona. Nonetheless, Brendan Bowie going to lead us back to the green flag. Sean Casto 2nd, Nick Silver 3rd, Joey Jattina 4th, Dwayne Vincent 6th, Brian Macklin 7th, Welsenbach 8th, Gottschalk 9th, Gaboo 10th. Gaboo 9th, sorry, and O'Rourke rounds out the top 10 as they're scored right now. My, oh my, what a wild race this has been here in the WCIParts.com Truck Series. So glad you've tuned in with us tonight here at Daytona. It has been a fun one for sure. We have had all kinds of racing. We've had pack racing up at the front. Then we've had the single file racing where it gets spread out and kind of just riding at times. That happened around the middle part of this race, and then after that last pit stop, boy, it has ramped up, and we have seen some excitement here at the World Center of Racing. It's been a crazy one for sure, as we'll see if we can't chat with the leader right now as he gets set to line up for the first green-white checkered attempt, the only one here tonight. Brandon Bowie, Ben Kilcrease in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Here we go, Brandon. It has been a wild race so far tonight. You come from 19th and you find yourself leading here on a green-white checkered attempt. Do you have a game plan heading into these final 2 laps?
Honestly, no, I do not. I have never had to drive so gingerly just to try not to wreck or get caught up in somebody else's stuff. This has been a very, very challenging race. Honestly, I probably will just try my best just to hold on the bottom and hope we stay green for 2 laps so we can just finish it at this point. A win will be great, but at this point, I'm really just playing the points game. I'm just trying to make enough points so that way I can make the playoffs.
Absolutely. Well, wish you the best of luck here in these final 2 laps, and hopefully we'll talk to you here in just a bit on the podium.
All right, thanks, guys.
There you have it, Brandon Bowie holding on for dear life in the final restart of the race. It's a green-white checkered. I went over the green-white checkered procedures just a minute ago, but in case you missed it, here's how we'll do it. We'll get the green flag, and if we make it to the white flag without incident, then the next flag will end the race. And 9 times out of 10, that is the checkered flag. So if we make it to the white flag, we're pretty much racing all the way back around. However, if we make it to the, if we get the green flag and then we have a caution flag prior to the white flag, then the field will be frozen at the last scoring loop, and then the race will be official then. We were looking to turn the lights off there, but we're going to go one more lap. And with that being said, we'll take a quick commercial break, tune up for this final restart. Give me time to catch my breath because I've got a feeling it's about to get wild. Don't go anywhere. Green, white, checkered here at Daytona coming up next.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. Lights go off atop the iRacing.com Ford Mustang pace car, and here's how we'll line them up for the restart. It'll be Brandon Bowie leading us back to the green flag, Sean Casto, Nick Silver, Joey Jatina, Dwayne Vincent. That's the top 5. Now here's where it gets a little interesting inside this top 10 area. Joey Jatina did not come down a couple laps ago when it was time to pit, so he could be having a little bit of headache here with the fuel strategy. He may not have enough to make it these final 2 laps, especially with all these laps under caution that were just added on. So we'll find out and see what happens there. Also, Matthew Welzenbach is going to be another one of those drivers that's going to be pretty close on fuel as well. So this is going to be interesting here in these final handful of laps. We've already gone 3 laps past the scheduled distance. When it's all said and done with, we will have gone 5 laps past the scheduled distance, and that's a lot, especially here at Daytona. So we'll find out what happens with those drivers, but we've got an exciting finish on our hands, and it's coming up right here as the field gets set to restart this thing. Brandon Bowie is in control of wherever he wants to start. He chooses the inside line, and he heard it from him just a couple of laps ago. Green flag. Hold it down on the bottom. Green flag back in the air. Oh, man, the Jatina just did not get going there on that outside line. Casto immediately down to the bottom side of the racetrack. He'll fall in behind Bowie. Silver there as well as the field races down and into turn number 1. Single file for the first 5-6 trucks, and now here comes Dwayne Vincent. He's got help from Macklin. No, Vincent decides to stick down to the bottom side of the racetrack. Welzenbach says, I'll go with you, Macklin. They go to the top side of the racetrack. Here comes Silver. He's got to run. He moves up to the middle groove of the racetrack. Where does everybody else go, and where does everybody else fall into this equation? If we make it to the white flag, we're racing back to the checkered. Here we come off of turn number 4. Final lap at Daytona, set to begin, and there it is. White flag, we're on the last lap, 2.5 miles left here in the WCIparts.com Truck Series. Silver, good momentum up top. Lanes are pretty even as they go. Now they crash. Welzenbach goes around. He collects Scotch chalk. We're racing back to the finish, though. Here comes Casto looking to squeeze his way to the outside. He does just that, but he pushes Silver up the track. Macklin puts the bumper to Casto. Going to try and push him by the number 1 machine. He'll do that. Casto gets clear of Bowie. Does he drop to the inside line? He does not. He tries to stay in the middle. Now he goes to the bottom. There's contact for second. Sean Casto off of turn number 4 plays the block game and plays the win game. Now he is victorious at Daytona. Macklin gonna spin through the infield and collect the inside wall heavily. He comes home second, third to Nick Silver. What a finish here at Daytona. Wow. How about it? Sean Casto, though, picking up the victory. What a great show here at Daytona. Getting a congratulatory bump from E.J. O'Rourke. And Sean Casto getting it done here last lap pass, and I do believe that may have been. No, he led a couple laps earlier in the race, but boy, does this lap add to the win. Casto comes to the front straight away. He's going to burn it down right here on the start-finish line. Victorious here at Daytona is Sean Casto. We'll talk to him and the rest of the podium right after this. A short commercial break and then interviews coming up.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
What a great race we saw right there. We'll see now if we can catch up with the driver who came home in third tonight, all the way from the 21st starting position. Nick Silver finds his way onto the podium in a wild race here at Daytona. Nick, talk about your race.
Well, it was pretty much just trying to survive from the get-go. Knew the setup was going to be really unstable and wanted to stay out of it, and ended up, I don't know how, but our pit strategy put us in the front of the pack, and it was just on from there.
On from there, indeed. Talk about the setup of the truck. Saw a lot of drivers out of shape throughout the night. What kind of led to that looseness that we saw in a handful of drivers? Was it just pushing too early on, or was it just the tires falling off?
I don't really think it was tires. It started to get really loose after just a couple laps, and I didn't get any practice in, so just had to learn for the first 20 there. But it just felt like it would start unloading, about middle of the corner or so without any warning. So you just had to really tiptoe it.
And tiptoe, you guys did indeed. Who do you want to thank for putting you here third tonight in the WCI Parts.com Truck Series?
Well, I of course got to thank our sponsors, WCIParts.com, for sponsoring this great series. You guys for doing a great job putting on a show, and all the admins, everyone at Sim500. And got to say congrats to my teammate, of course, Sean, for the win.
There you go. Nick Silver finishes third tonight, heads to Kentucky next week. We'll see you there.
Thank you.
We have Nick Silver third tonight from 21st, and moving on up the podium will be Brian Macklin, driver who started fifth and was, all the way up to the lead almost at one point, and then almost outside the top 20 at another. He was everywhere on the racetrack tonight. Brian Macklin, though, comes home in second. Talk about that final restart and the whole race as a whole, just wild.
It really was a wild race. This package and this setup, or whatever the case may be, it was very difficult to drive, and I think that showed on the broadcast for sure. But we just had to fight really hard. I knew there was going to be a lot of wrecks. That's why we chose to ride in the back for a little while, and then I made a mistake on pit road. I slid through my box, and it cost me a ton of time. And fortunately, the late caution gave me a chance to get up there and have a shot at it, and we got ourselves another good points night. Another good points night, indeed. Just one spot away from the win. That seems to be the
the story of the season for you, Brian. And I know it's I know you want to change that. How do you feel about Kentucky next week?
Yeah, 3 second place finishes this season so far is a little frustrating. I felt like we had a shot to win each of those races. Even tonight, I felt like even though we didn't really spend a lot of time at the front, we had a shot. Kentucky's one of my more favorite tracks. I enjoy going there, and it's definitely going to present a challenge with the bumps and definitely going to be one of those races. I feel like if we can put ourselves in a good position, we can definitely be in position to go for the win. So we're going to try to do that. We just got to keep chipping away at these points. We're trying to get the top 14. I think we got, 5 races left into the playoffs, so just digging deep.
Well, wish you the best of luck next week. Who do you want to thank, though, tonight for putting you here on the runner-up?
I got to thank everybody at Aftermath Motorsports, all my teammates. We worked together for the most part tonight until we all kind of got separated, and then unfortunately Justin and Trey got caught up in a wreck. But EJ picked me up when I was out of the draft, so I definitely got to throw a thanks to him for picking me up and getting me back up to speed a little bit. Got to thank you guys for putting on this broadcast and everybody at Sim500 for putting together the series every week, and just want to thank everybody that watches. It's always a good time.
Coming home second tonight, looking for the win maybe next week. Brian Macklin, thanks for chatting with us.
Yes, sir. Hopefully I'll be talking to you in Victory Lane next week.
There you go. Brian Macklin, runner-up tonight. And now moving on to the driver who, well, a well-known name here in Sim500, Sean Cadstow, victorious here at Daytona. A big win as part of the Triple Truck Challenge. You pick up some extra cash. How does it feel to be a winner here at Daytona?
Daytona is special, but Sim500 first win here. That's also equally as special, if not more. This is a tough crowd to be in. It was a fantastic race. Hopefully it looked good up there.
Oh, it looked amazing up here. We were on the edge of our seats, and you guys put on a heck of a show from the drop of the green all the way to the checkered. Talk about that pit strategy around the middle point of the race, or the final green flag pit stop there that we had, where you 3 teammates kind of teamed up, waited to the very last moment to come down. You don't have to fill your trucks as full as everybody else. You put less fuel in, you come out, and you guys have the lead. Talk about that strategy and how it really helped propel your way to victory lane here tonight.
Yeah, I won't say who came up with that one, but that was a group effort. Tires on last restart. If that caution came out, that final caution, we would have had a hell of a battle between us. Bowie up top. They had the tires up top, so I was worried about that. Yeah, that was a great race between teammates. There's no happy feelings at the end between friends there when you have to do that. But that's hard racing. It's hard to turn that off sometimes. But yeah, it was a great win. I appreciate it. It's good stuff.
Great win indeed, and first at Sim500. Another congratulatory remark there as well. That's like you said, a big feat, tough crowd, and well, you've got it done here at Daytona. Who do you want to thank for putting you here in victory lane tonight, Sean?
Yeah, certainly go back to those teammates there. They kept the fenders clean. We all had our backs. Basically decided between us there, so that was good stuff. Yeah, just everybody like that. You guys too, for sure.
There you have it, Sean Cadstow, first winner in Sim500, or first time winner here in Sim500. Moves on to Kentucky next week. We look forward to seeing you there as well.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Sean Cadstow, Triple Truck Challenge winner and a first-time winner here at Daytona. What a great show it was tonight. We thank everybody for tuning in. We apologize. We had some technical difficulties at the beginning, and we worked through them and got everything sorted out for what was a spectacular finish here under the lights at Daytona. We get to do it all over again next Wednesday night at the Kentucky Speedway. It's race number 14, 150 laps at the famed Kentucky Speedway. So join us for that one. We'll be back in action Sunday night with the Kick Gas Sunday Series right here in Sim500 competition, right here live on the Sim Racing Networks. For Sean Yoder, who has been an absolute superstar tonight, getting everything sorted behind the scenes, and for myself, Ben Gilcrease, that'll do it for us tonight, though, here at Daytona. We look forward to seeing you Sunday. Remember, when you're out there on the roads, to put that phone down. Good night from Daytona.